Welcome to Social Studies, fourth graders. If you have your textbook at home, your blue Social Studies textbook, you are going to open up to pages I-14, I-15, I-16, and I-17. They're in the very beginning of the book. If you do not have them, they are posted in this slideshow, so you don't need to worry about them. You can follow along as I read to you and discuss the illustrations in the social studies book. So we're going to be focusing on geography. We're reviewing some things that you probably touched on in third grade, maybe even second grade. So let's get started. We're going to be discussing the 5 themes of geography. And this is how our entire textbook is broken down. We will be studying the 5 regions, and we will be talking about the location of each region, the place of each region, the human environment interactions of each region, the movement of the regions, how people get around, and actually the 5 regions itself. So the 5 themes of geography, we're learning about places. It's important to study the history and the geography. Geography is the study of Earth's surface and the way people use it. When geographers are people who study geography, when geographers study Earth and its geography, they often think about 5 main themes or topics. Keeping these themes in mind as you read will help you think like a geographer. So we're going to start with number 1 on the left-hand side on page I-14, and we're looking at the red circle, and we're talking about location. So this one is actually 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and West Executive Avenue. So I know that Mrs. Guerrero in 4PG always asks a bonus question, and you get stickers if you know who actually lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So that would be the president. So that's where the White House is located. So we're talking about locations, and in that bubble it says everything on Earth has its own location, the place where it can be found. So think about your house. Your house has a location. It's your actual address that's on the house, so people can find where you are. Then we're looking at the purple circle on the bottom of page I-14, and we're talking about place as one of the themes of geography. Every place has physical and human features that make it different from all other places. Physical features are formed by nature. Human features are made by people. And if you've done any traveling to different areas in different states, maybe even different countries, you'll notice that not every place looks like Berkeley Heights or New Jersey. So now we're on page I-15, and we're up at the top in the orange bubble. We're going to talk about the human environment interactions. And what that means is people and their surroundings interact or affect each other. People's activities may change the environment. The environment may affect people. Sometimes people must change how they live to fit into their surroundings. And one way that I think all 4th graders would know how people actually change the environment could be littering or cutting down trees. So those are ways that human interaction affects the environment. Now we're looking at the green circle with the airplane, and we're talking about movement. People, goods, and ideas move every day. They move in your state, our country, and around the world. And in each region, we're going to be discussing that theme. And last but not least, we're talking about the regions. Areas of Earth with main features that make them different from other areas are called regions. A region can be described by its physical features or its human features. So now we're on page I-16, and we're looking at the Earth. So there are notes on either side of the slide, but I'm going to start reading to you at the top of the page. So follow along, and if you'd like to use your finger to track, you may. A distant view from space shows Earth's round shape. You probably have a globe in your classroom, or you might have one at home. Like Earth, a globe has the shape of a sphere or a ball. It is a model of Earth. So it's not really the Earth, it's a model of the Earth. It shows Earth's major bodies of water and its continents. So what are continents? And this is pretty important. Whenever you come across a word that's highlighted or bold or underlined, it usually means it's pretty important. So in this case, continents are the largest land masses. So they're giving you the meaning of what the word continents are. Earth's 7 continents, from the largest to the smallest, are Asia, Africa, North America, where we live, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. Because of its shape, you can see only 1/2 of Earth at a time when you look at a globe. Halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole on a globe is a line called the equator. And you'll see it right here. It runs through South America, it runs through Africa, and it runs through parts of Asia. So this isn't a real line. This is an imaginary line. So you see it on the globe, but you can't see it on the real Earth. So continents are the largest land masses. The 7 continents are Asia, Africa, North America, where we live, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. And then the equator is an imaginary line halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole on a globe. So we'll go to the next slide. Looking at Earth. So this is on page I-17 in your textbook. And at the top of the page, it says the equator divides Earth into 2 equal halves or hemispheres. So once again, there is a word that's bold and it's highlighted in yellow. So hemisphere must mean that it's a pretty important word. And I'm looking at all of the diagrams and I see it 4 times. So they must really want me to understand what this word means. It's 2 equal halves. The northern hemisphere is north of the equator, and the southern hemisphere is south of it. Another line on the globe is called the prime meridian. Oh, look, there's another word that's bold and it's highlighted in yellow. So that must be important. It is often used to divide the Earth into the western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. So the prime meridian is an imaginary line on the globe, like the equator, which divides the Earth into the western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. So, what did you learn? You can absolutely go back, re-watch the video, reread the pages yourself. Be sure to take a close look at all of the diagrams. Try to click the images in your brain. You're going to go to your Social Studies Google Classroom. There will be a form, and in the Social Studies Google Classroom, you're going to click on the Google form to see what you remember and what you learned. You can use this slideshow to help you. Good luck, 4th graders.